thank you guys all for joining my tour here today at 360 Payment Solutions, located in San Jose, California. Today we have a very important topic to discuss, that ISOs are going away, and that software companies will be the new ISOs. We have Team 1 for this topic, and Team 2 against this topic. I invite the first player from Team 1 to come support this topic.
Good evening, welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
It's 11:30.
I'm here to bring you to the future. Terminals are a thing of the past, software companies are taking over. We will know that software reaches all, touches all. Terminals are very limited, and ISOs are going to be a part of the past because software tech companies already own the technology, the language, the skill set, and they cover many platforms and a lot of different sizes of business, large and small. That's the future. It's called the checkup from the neck up. It starts here today. If you're even, he's leaving. And I think ISOs are a thing of the past. Software companies are here to stay. It's the future. Thank you.
Nice. Good morning, afternoon. To continue on Ruben's point, he's absolutely right. With we've already seen it. It's the terminal is out the door. Everybody's changing to software companies, and it's just the direction of the future. And it's already started, and we've already started to see it in a lot of these softwares. Credit card processing is just becoming a feature of the software. You look at a lot of these different softwares, SalonBooker, Dentrex, MindBody, they already have proprietary processors. So they're only partnered with one processor, and they have hundreds of thousands of businesses out there that are using this software. So right now, the businesses are only able to use one processor. So why is the software company giving up revenue and doing different things when everything could be in-house and everything could be done all together? These software, the credit card processing, like I said, is a feature, is going to just become a feature. Just like inventory is a feature on a lot of these different point-of-sale systems. Marketing is a feature. We have loyalty. A lot of them do their own loyalty programs and gift cards and things like that directly through the software. Credit card processing is already just a piece of that. So what's going to happen is these software companies are going to realize that they don't need to outsource that piece anymore. It's just becoming another feature of their software. So again, as Ruben pointed out, terminals are going away. We've already seen the shift start. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to happen though, and everything is shifting that way. Credit card processing is just going to be a feature of these different softwares, and that's the way of the future. Thank you.
Boo. You go first.
Alrighty. So Ruben and Jesse definitely brought up some good points. To address what Ruben and Jesse were talking about as far as terminals go, definitely gonna have to agree. Terminals are becoming a thing of the past, and at some point all merchants are or should be on software of some type. But what we're arguing here is software companies gonna make ISOs go away? And the answer is no, because you still need someone to sell that software. You still need someone to make recommendations, because not necessarily like merchants, they don't really know what they're looking for in software. So they're going to need someone like a consultant to come in and kind of explain the in and outs and different options. So that's one of the reasons why, even though software is the new way for accepting payments, it doesn't mean that ISOs are going anywhere. And also, as far as terminals go, with EMV coming out and all this, it's not necessarily built into most softwares, and a lot of merchants don't necessarily know how they're going to take it yet. So short term, these terminals are still going to be around. You're still going to need ISOs to service them. And long term, you're still going to need ISOs to sell that software, to make recommendations to merchants on what type of software to even get into in the first place. And Jesse also said everything could be done in-house potentially by software companies. And that will bring up some points that they will bring up later. But our general idea with that is, with most companies that are successful, they focus on what they're good at. And I don't want to say too much of what David's going to say. He's giving me a look right now. But,
I didn't mean to.
yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much what we think about Team One's points is, you know, the software is the new way of taking payments, but it doesn't mean that the ISOs are going to be replaced or become obsolete. If anything, it makes us more valuable to the clients. And, you know, you still have questions like EMV, and having everything in-house by the same company necessarily isn't the best fit for you as a business. So, without further ado. Thank you, Jeff. No problem. I don't want to say too much.
Good morning, everyone. It's still before lunchtime, so thank you very much for both presenters here. But the first thing, before I even get into this topic, I want to say that Ruben said good evening. How could you tell me something that you believe in when you don't even know what time it is? So, I didn't feel like Jeff was stealing my thunder, but I also, from Team 2, believe that ISOs will just start working with more and more software companies, and it's going to be a relationship, it's going to be a bridge where they're going to coexist, but I don't believe ISOs will go away. And for instance, ISOs own a lot of market share in the United States, around 60%. Companies like Mercury, companies like PayPros, it's been proven the way they've been able to grow over the past decade or 5 years, that they've established partnerships with multiple software companies, capitalizing on more market share that way. And then to the point of Jesse mentioned that a lot of software companies may want to do things in-house, such as inventory. Well, inventory has been handled for a long time. Inventory has been handled before credit card processing has been around on paper, right? That's easy. But we all know credit card processing involves certain risk issues, underwriting issues, and with more of that liability. And I think therefore ISOs will keep doing what they're doing, keep the liability on themselves, and software companies are just better off working with them, letting them do their credit card processing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here, here. Here, here. All valid. How can help you smile?
Great point, sir. Great
It
point.
is eating somewhere, by the way.
It is eating somewhere.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're gonna need a new watch.
Maybe you're going to watch this in the
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your valid points. Jeff and David, you brought up some, really pertinent issues here. So, you both touched on some really good points that I'd like to expand on further. Jeff, you mentioned, ISOs, it's an independent sales organization. So somebody does need to sell the products, whether it's a software company, whether it's an ISO going out and selling processing services, cash advances, whatever it is. It's all about finding merchants, focusing in, targeting them, and with the software, it's more specific. So you're able to sell a software in more ways. So a software company is going to be able to target through, keywords. They're able to, focus in on specific merchants. They can go hit trade shows. They're able to focus their sales efforts more specifically, and they have more data, so they're actually able to sell much more effectively. And it's also going to clean up the process a bit. So in the future, instead of having a bunch of reps that are out representing different features, different things, different prices, with the software company, you're able to put it all together, clean lines. You're able to focus on specific industries, and it just makes it a much cleaner experience for the consumers. And it takes out having to need so many salespeople. You're actually able to produce more sales with less effort, less labor cost, and it's going to be more in line with your company's values. Also, with the software, you can focus in, as you mentioned, Jeff. It is important to focus. You mentioned that ISOs can focus. Actually, ISOs have a more broad focus than being more specific. So, with the software, you're able to really become an expert in that industry because you're creating a software to solve the complex problems of that industry. So it's actually going to be able to be more in depth, and you're going to be able to focus more and drive more sales in that way. And then David, as you were talking about, the ISOs are going to be partnering with software companies, and you don't necessarily need to have it all in-house. Well, that's a good point, and that's sort of the way it is right now. but it's all a race. You know, you look at Mercury. Mercury just got sold to a software company. You know, they were doing that, so that's the way it's going to be. Why have an extra arm to something when you can have it all in-house? That way, any issues that happen, there's one company that you can go to. You don't have to be outsourced, go to another. You know, if a customer has a problem, they can go right to one source and get an answer, and they don't have to go and look for another answer somewhere else or wait on somebody else to do something. It can all be handled in-house, which is going to be better customer service, and it's going to help, you know, grow companies and have a, you know, better relationship with their customers for long-term growth. So.
And to add to that, Matt, you know, he didn't steal my thunder either, but you're probably guys are going to hear this again, you know, all in-house. I mean, was it the 10th time you probably heard this? That was one of my points. You know, you're going to have streamlined customer service. That's huge. You're not going to be calling a software company, hey, my software is not working. They're going to be like, oh, it's the processor's fault. And you have to call the processor. The processor says, oh, that's not our fault. That's the software. You need to talk to them. Just going back and forth. It's all going to be under one roof. You have one number to call, and they're going to be able to take care of the problem. Another thing is going to be with attrition. We've noticed that losing accounts to software companies that we're not able to integrate with is a big barrier for ISOs. And having, you know, when they're all inclusive, all the businesses on one platform, it's going to be a big change. Basically, change their whole business if they want to change softwares when they're already all set up, right, kind of all streamlined together. So
That was such a good point. Thanks.
good morning.
It's not afternoon?
No, it's not afternoon.
No, sorry.
Good morning.
You're right. You're right.
Good morning, Carrie.
Thank you.
Carrie.
Fukunaga speaking. So I would like to thank
Team one.
yeah, they were
The number one team.
there were some number one is PP. So definitely some good points. I think everyone you know, clearly has their own opinion on this, and you know, I think there is a clear line of right and wrong here, and I believe that the thought that ISOs are going away is on the wrong side of that line. Matt said a couple things that kind of bent my ear a little bit. He mentioned that he thought that software companies having sales agents inside, software sales agents inside, would be able to sell more effectively than an outside rep or an independent sales organization rep. And I would challenge anybody in this room to stand behind that with any confidence, because I do believe that everybody in this room could outsell anybody sitting in a call center right now, blindfolded, with no tongue.
One hand.
No legs.
That's discriminating.
Are we allowed to
Maybe
talk
it
right now?
is.
Yeah.
But it's still true.
3 words.
Yeah, make large sense.
So the other piece of that is when you're throwing all of your eggs into one basket, we all know that that's never really a good idea. You know, you're placing all of your faith into one company to handle everything for you. And what we preach a lot here at 360, especially when we're talking gift cards, is to have that flexibility to be able to move things as you need to if you're not happy. And having everything wrapped up into one software company or sales organization, having you know, all your eggs in one basket, could also prove to be very disastrous for a business. So,
They're doing it now.
Not disastrous.
Yeah,
Could be,
that's
potentially, I
there.
said. The other issue there is the Matt mentioned that you know, better customer service experience, and we are of the thought that any company that specializes in software is not going to be a specialist also in your IT and your payroll and your credit card processing. So the level of support that you would get from someone who went through 8 hours of training in a classroom versus an organization that's got decades of experience in an industry is not even close. So I would also argue that fact. What comes into that also is who's going to do the training for that, right? Is the software company who is an expert in IT, payroll, and credit card processing also going to do that training?
And if they are going to do that training, where's that money going to come from? Right? That's why people outsource. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but there's a reason why companies outsource to China for their materials, right? Even though they've got to ship them here, it's still cheaper to do that because it just makes sense, right? It doesn't make sense to have somebody here make it, even though it benefits our economy better. So it's not so much about what makes the most sense, it's what's the most effective. And I think that's a big chunk of our argument. And with that, I'll turn it over to Don, who's going to come up here and present you guys with some new things that you can try and refute.
How much time does Don have?
Don has a minute and 6 seconds.
You'll get it. Cool.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jason, for your remarks. I think they're very valid points.
Thank you.
And you guys are all just, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Here's where I would challenge everybody, is that I truly believe that if you truly believe what you're saying here today, that you have all been lying to your customers. When you talk to your customers, what do you tell them? You tell them that we are experts in this field. This is all we do all day, every day, right? So how can you say that we're going to go away, that ISOs are going to go away? To Jason's point, companies that outsource are successful. You know, we as a company, we outsource our IT and our payroll. You know, for the banks, they do all of their outsourcing, right? To say that Wells Fargo is going to go away, or the Wells Fargo Merchant Services is going to go away, personally, is asinine. That's ludicrous. Not going to happen. Okay. The other part of that.
Time.
It dings you here.
You have 30 seconds.
No, you
All
have.
right. Do I have 30 seconds? That was quick, minute 6.
We'll let you finish, but we're gonna ding you guys, team 1 or team 2, whatever.
The last point of it is acquirers also the acquirers are giving tools to the ISOs to compete with the software companies. So you know, Clover and First Data, you got Revel and Mercury, right? The software companies or the acquirers are now trying to give the ISOs tools because they know that they bring value and benefit to what they're doing. And that's it.
Let's go, Big J.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, do it.
Make sure it's broke.
Second time today for drop mic.
You're closing.
DQ.
Oh, really?
DQ's closing.
DQ, are you on this side or that side?
Oh, they don't.
Okay.
This side too.
Okay.
There's no rebuttal.
Oh,
We don't have the rebuttal. It's a closing.
In conclusion, our expertise at 360 Payment Solutions is having experts in our fields. We are the best salespeople, and there's no way that a software company that concentrates on all these different fields can compete with us. What? That's it. That's it.
Hell yeah. Oh my.
So do I get his extra time?
No, you got 3 minutes.
I got 3 minutes?
No, he's opening your food. Yeah, they're third thing.
Good morning. Great points. Great topic.
Great people.
Interesting people. love the new guy throwing darts there. Think about the topic. Think about the past. Predict the future. You know what? Square started out as a processor. What is their value today? Software. What's the value that everyone in this room brings? Knowledge. If we became or were purchased by a software company, we would be the experts. So we are the expert in the industry still. Every business owner that I know that has a desire to work outside of their business leans on their software. Their software is what gives them time outside of their business. The smarter the business owners have become in the years I've been in the industry that I'm in today, the prices have gone down because the business owners have become smarter about what they're paying. Business owners are becoming smarter. They will leverage their software because they value their time. The software is going to be the key component as we move forward in this industry. And the processor becoming software focused is going to be the key. That's why I believe that A quality ISO today will be a quality software company tomorrow because of the value that they'll bring to the table of having knowledge on both sides.